Do you dread driving at night because of poor visibility? I used to share that feeling, but since installing these new LED headlights, my driving experience has been transformed completely, making me feel more confident and safe behind the wheel even in the darkest conditions. So in this video, I'm going to be taking you guys through exactly how quick and easy it is to install these bulbs, doing a side-by-side comparison test between the old bulbs and the new bulbs, as well as taking them out on the road. Let's get into it. All right guys, so I have the Ultra 2 LED, which is the GTR lighting. This is from Headlight Revolution. They are the best bulbs on the market. I've got both low beams and high beams. These bulbs are just plug and play, which is awesome. It comes with an Allen key to adjust the bulb to make sure that it's lined up properly, as well as a couple of zap straps so that you can tie out any loose wires. So we're gonna start with doing the low beams, guys. So they're gonna be the top bulb. And you can see there is a dust cover. So we're gonna take the dust cover off. It's super simple. I mean, you just pull on it and it comes right out. There's no snaps or anything, so don't feel afraid to pull hard on it. Then the next thing we're gonna wanna do in here is that we're gonna reach in here and there should be a wire that you're gonna find that is connected from the vehicle to the headlight. And we're gonna wanna unclip it. I find it's just a little bit easier to unclip it first, and then you will be able to turn the light bulb afterwards. Once we have that out of there, guys, we're gonna be reaching in here and we're gonna be turning the bulb like so. This is the original light bulb. Now we're gonna be installing our new light. You've got 3 different prongs on here. If you look closely on the inside, you'll be able to see they have to go in one certain way. This top one is gonna be off-centered slightly so that when you put it in, you're gonna be putting it in at a bit of an angle as such, and then it's gonna turn into place so that it's nice and straight up and down when it's actually in place in there. So before we install, we're gonna be plugging this in. For whatever reason this isn't working, just unplug it and then plug it back in the opposite way. So it's a good idea, guys, to make sure that both your high beams and your low beams are working before you actually get them in place. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn my high beams on, and you can see that that bulb is just glowing. So I haven't actually put this inside yet, just to make sure that it's working properly before I go through the hassle of actually installing it. Just a good tip. And just so you guys can see this bulb and how it works, you can see they've got that fan running on the backside as well. And man, is that thing ever bright. Holy. And now that we have that plugged in, we're gonna keep the wires out on the backside. We're gonna push and fish this through. We're gonna find the top of it. This does take some fiddling around in order to get the bulb in place. I was expecting to feel a click or a snap when it was secured, but I never felt that with these headlights. But you're gonna wanna make sure that the light is perfectly up and down, otherwise the light won't perform as intended, and you're gonna have some light bleeding and probably some angry oncoming traffic. If they're not straight up and down, that's where the Allen key comes in and you can adjust the lights, though I found mine were perfectly aligned out of the box. And the last step is obviously replacing this dust cover. You're also gonna wanna make sure that all the cords are nice and inside so that this dust cover doesn't have a cord coming out the side of it where water can potentially get in and fog up your headlights. This is fairly large, but this does fit in your headlight slot when you go to put the cords in here. You just have to be careful and fish the cords around. So now, guys, to start on the high beams, there's 2 ways that you can get at these bulbs. You can either go in through the wheel well. In order to do so, though, you are gonna have to take off some of these hex bolts and pull off this wheel well liner, and then you're gonna be able to get at that. Or you can go in from the top side. You can definitely get at the dust cover from the top side. I've heard people say it's quite a bit more difficult, but considering I don't really wanna deal with this wheel well liner and taking it off right now, I'm gonna go in from the top. I feel like I can reach it, so it shouldn't be too bad. So I'm not going to take you guys through the whole process of installing the high beams, as they are the exact same process as the low beams. The only difference was I found it easier to take the bulb up before unclipping the wiring harness for the high beams compared to the low beams. I was indeed able to do the whole process from above rather than going through the wheel well liner. And just some things to note: make sure that the light is perfectly lined up and down to make sure it is functioning as intended. Ensure all the wiring is within the hole for the bulb, and make sure that the dust cover is reinstalled properly to keep moisture out of the headlight. And now to compare the before and after, as well as testing out the new LEDs on the road.
The stock halogen low beams have a really nice beam pattern. They have a really nice cutoff line, which I love, but the brightness just isn't there. The stock halogen high beams also have a really good beam pattern, but when it comes to high beams, I want the most light output as possible, and these just aren't cutting it. With the side-by-side comparison, it becomes extremely clear that these new LED low beams are far superior when it comes to light output, with the LEDs just completely dominating. There really is no comparison here.
So you're going to see a bit of a difference on this side compared to this side right now. Just the way the vehicle's sitting, this right side is actually closer to the wall than this left side. So that doesn't surprise me at all. But what you do see is this nice cutoff line, which I'm really happy about. I wasn't sure how this was going to look, but it looks like it has a nice cutoff. So you're not going to be blinding other drivers, which is really important to me. So we've got the new high beam installed on this side, and we've got the old high beams installed on this side. You can definitely see a huge difference with how bright it is over here, and there's definitely more light getting up into this zone compared to this where you're still seeing that pretty clear cutoff. Even with that high beam being on, it doesn't get nearly as much light up, and you can tell that it is a lot brighter over here compared to over here. Look how bright these are, guys. This is with both the high beams on and the low beams, and oh my God, these are insanely bright. I'll give you guys the before, and then we've got the after, and it is night and day difference how bright these bulbs are. These are the best bulbs on the market. I would highly suggest these bulbs. This was probably one of my easiest installs as well, guys. This took me 20 minutes. I've seen a lot of comments online with people talking about how they had troubles turning the bulbs and stuff, but I didn't have any issues with that whatsoever. Super easy install, and I'm probably gonna be in love with these bulbs for a long time coming.
If you're looking to purchase these bulbs, there's a link in the description. The H11 bulbs are for your low beams, and the 9005 bulbs are for your high beams. Using the links helps support the channel through affiliate linking, so thank you in advance, everyone. And just so you guys are aware, Amazon sells only one bulb at a time, so you have to buy a quantity of 2 in order to get a set for either your low beams or your high beams. Silly, I know.
Only real difference is that this clip is slightly different. This is the old one here, so you can see that it's a little bit different clip. And the actual threads that go on are slightly different as well.
These headlights are a night and day difference, as you guys can clearly see from this footage. I now almost feel excited to drive in low light conditions. Also, a big thank you to Headlight Revolutions for working with me on this video. I really appreciate you guys. If you made it to this point in the video, why not hit that subscribe button? Only 1% of my viewers are currently subscribed, and I think that's a little embarrassing, and we should probably get that number up a bit. And if you're interested in more lighting videos, you can click here to learn how to install a behind the grill light bar.